All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shadow of the Colossus. My name is Ark,
I'm Random Ninja.
and today we are taking on our final serpent Colossus, and that would be Phalanx.
That's correct, that is its name, and it is a serpent. It is a sky serpent, even.
This one was, I would think, one of the easiest ones to figure out, not counting, like, Valis or anything like that, because that was, like, the first Colossus.
Well, you say easy to figure out. Its time attack time tells a very, very different story, actually.
What's the time attack time on it?
So, Phalanx has a 12-minute time attack time. Which seems absurdly long, honestly.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know I didn't hit the time attack time, but that's mostly because I wasn't fast enough.
Right, but it's, it's your first time through. I'm sure if you did it again, if you went through time attack now, it would take you nowhere near 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm. I also think next to Malice, this is the largest Colossus.
Yes. Yes, it is incredibly huge.
But when
very majestic.
Yeah, when you're on it, it doesn't feel like it's that big.
It's actually, they've calculated its length, and I have this information in front of me. I came prepared this time.
Oh, yeah?
Phalanx is the longest of all Colossi, measuring 557 feet long.
So that's
tip to tail.
That's about almost a football, about the length of a football, 1.5 football fields. There, I can English today.
I don't know how to convert yards to feet, so sure.
Well, a football field is 300 feet.
Okay, that's kind of useful knowledge, actually. That makes it pretty easy.
You really don't know how to convert yards to feet?
No, we use what's called the metric system, which actually makes sense.
I mean,
isn't
true.
Based off of the arbitrary size of someone's foot.
Yeah. There's 3 feet.
Why don't you wander about 4 leagues away?
There's 3 feet in every yard. So 100.
All right, that's all you need to say.
Okay. So both of us.
Feet.
So both of us missed the starting point of Phalanx, which I thought was hilarious.
I knew it was... Jesus Christ, your aggro is really brave. I can't fucking get aggro to jump off shit.
Right?
I knew it was in that sort of general direction. I didn't realize you had to step inside the ruins to start it.
Right.
I thought it was just wander into the desert, boom, you're good to go.
Now that ring that we just passed, do you know if there's anything behind it, or is it just a random thing that they threw in the terrain?
It's either a Sonic Easter egg or a Stargate Easter... No, I have no idea. I think it's just a random thing.
Okay. I like how you started to talk out of your ass, and then you were like, no, I really don't know.
No, I don't think they've ever mentioned it. It's just a circle. It's some rune. I'm sure it resembles something in Ico or The Last Guardian, which is something they like to do, but who knows?
Yeah. And right off the bat, I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. He has balls on his body.
Piss is stored in the balls. Timely meme. Boom. There we go. Meme quota filled. Yeah, I really liked what they did with those sacks of gas.
Yeah.
Just in terms of the animation, how much they made them pop and stand out. It's very obvious what you have to do.
Unlike
At least to me.
Yeah, unlike some of the other Colossi that we fought.
We don't talk about those Colossi.
Oh god, we're going to be talking about them in the next coming episodes. I think cuz we both of us are actually going on trips in the next couple weeks, so actually next week, if I'm correct.
Time of this recording, yeah.
Yeah. So we decided to get ahead and just finish out this series. And I have to say, with my combined time for the last 4 was at least an hour.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I would not be surprised if I was even higher than that. I had hell of a time with it.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I will say about Phalanx, to bring it back to the guy we're currently looking at, one, super majestic. Two, the first real thing you need to lead with the arrows.
Right.
Like this Dirge came right at you.
Yeah. And for some reason, like, we had magic arrows at that point.
Oh, yeah. Our arrows were super magical. Actually, not real magical arrows. Those are a thing you can get doing the time attack.
Yeah, isn't there, like, a whistler arrow and, like, something else, if I remember correctly?
There is a whistling arrow and a flash arrow, which is an exploding arrow.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is the point of those?
So the whistling arrow makes the Colossus turn towards the location of that arrow. So if you, let's say, against Plagia or Plagia, whatever, you want to climb on its back and don't want to swim around it, you could just shoot a whistling arrow and it would turn around.
Now, I know that to unlock some of these things, you have to do their time attacks.
Yes.
Would you use those items in your time attack runs to...
No.
No?
No, it is purely for completion of New Game Plus, which is a new introduction in PS4.
Mm-hmm.
Which, now that we're done, we can sort of start talking about that, and we're wrapping up here. But yeah, there is a New Game Plus mode in PS4.
Mm-hmm.
And you continue gaining health and stamina every time you go through a New Game Plus.
Oh, I see.
So you don't even really need to collect the lizards in PS4 because you can just continue doing a New Game Plus.
Right. Now, I have a question. In your run, you stood on aggro. How did you do that?
If you hold the grab button and push up on the analog stick, you will stand up. You have to continue holding the grab button.
Oh.
You can also lean side to side by pushing the grab button and holding triangle, and then pushing the analog stick to either side.
Yeah, I have no idea what happened. Like, physics on his, like, wing flap things is a little wonky.
I mean, it's because they don't connect unless he's flying. So you want to be holding on all the way, or while it's still down like this, if you climb quickly enough by doing fully charged jumps,
right?
You can jump from the top of his wing all the way up. So instead of waiting there, and you actually go, but you can be a lot faster than that, and that's how you can get multiple weak spots in one go.
Right. Now this is where I take out my sword and I start my climb. I would say that he was one of the easier ones.
Climb or crawl?
Whatever. He was, like, besides when he does the barrel roll or dive under the sand, he was actually relatively easy to stay on.
Oh, definitely. He hardly moves. He doesn't really spin. He doesn't fling you around very much. He's almost like Hydrus in that way. In fact, all the Serpent Colossi have been rather docile.
Yeah.
Phalanx is actually especially interesting because he is the only Colossus that does not attack you. You cannot take damage against Phalanx unless you fall off or something.
Right. I thought that was the same way with Avion.
No, I mean, Avion dives at you.
Now, okay.
Oh, man, you almost did that unintentionally.
Because when you told me that, I was like, really? Because I thought I was in good position to stay under the flap thing, but I guess not.
No, you have to be at the top, basically.
Mm-hmm. And you see me get knocked around a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know all about getting knocked around when you're already knocked down.
And then I skip ahead again. This one was actually a relatively easy one to edit because just getting up on it.
It's the same process. You shoot the gas bladders. Also, I need to make a terrible joke when I said I know all about that. Wanderer has clearly never listened to Chumbawamba because when he gets down, he does not get up again.
No, he just... No, that's one of my biggest... Besides the swimming, my biggest gripe is that it takes so long for him to get up.
Motherfucker can fall 15 feet and take a sliver of hell. But, God forbid he gets hit once. That's all she wrote. Man, Wander is Not good at getting back up.
Oh no, God no, he's not. I have to say, between this one, these two, Avion and this fight, are some of my favorites.
The environment is so different.
Right, because you're in the air.
Everything has been nice, and I think Gaius is another one of my favorites as well.
Gaius is a lot of people's favorites, I've noticed.
Just for his design and for his arena is really nice.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Gaius, just to point this out to the one guy in the thread, the sword fling, pretty much impossible on PS4.
Now, is there still a trophy for it, though?
So there is still a trophy for getting up without breaking his bracelet, but the sword fling is not the way to do it. You basically climb on his sword, jump onto his hip, and then jump back onto his hand. The sword fling, even on PS3, because of the increased frame rate and resolution and all that kind of stuff, basically impossible. You can't do it. You do not stay on the sword properly.
Oh, interesting.
And there are actually multiple things like that, like speedrun attempts that I'll sort of point out as we cover them. Phalanx, you can skip him a bit. You need to be really quick climbing up on him, and then really quick just running with his stabs, and not grabbing on until he's already like halfway through his flip.
Right.
So you get as much speed as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're very unlikely to fall off because he's so flat unless you start falling like that, and then you just immediately get up and go.
Mm-hmm.
You don't stay holding on or anything like that. And that's how you get the quickest time. So you're just a little bit over here, and if you'd gotten like I did, I got 2 sigils in one go.
Right.
Just a little too slow for the third one. You probably would have been well within the time attack.
Right. So my final time for him was 13 minutes and 24 seconds, which is, like you said before, pretty close to the time attack time. I think that's probably... I don't know if it's the closest, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of the longer ones, this is the closest you've been to hitting time attack.
Yeah.
Against the longer Colossi. You know, we've got Hydrus, where you went quite a bit over, which is 9 minutes on PS4, by the way.
Oh, is it? What was I on for Hydrus?
Quite a bit over that.
I feel like that was another 12 one.
About that, yeah. Plagia is 8 minutes and 30 seconds on PS4. Which... go fuck yourself. And then, yeah, Phalanx is 12 minutes. And the next one is 9 minutes. So those are sort of the longer ones, and those are the ones that, on average, I think so far this is the closest you've been.
Yeah. So now we're on to your run, where I don't remember if you do anything tricky with yours. I know that you do get the 2 sigils in one
yeah,
go.
just that initial skip is really the only thing. There's not much else you can do. You can sort of follow Phalanx as he's under the sand by pointing your sword at him.
See, I tried doing that.
You can grab the gas bladders quickly. Otherwise, there's not much you can do. There's no way to climb on him while he's floating in midair.
Mm-hmm.
Or anything like that. So, as far as time attack, it's just about getting the bladders quickly and then moving on to the weak points.
Right.
So actually, even looking at it, the current record for Phalanx in time attack, if you had to guess how quickly you think you could do this, let's say you were the best you could ever be, how quickly do you think you could kill Phalanx?
I'd say like... I don't remember how... I would say like 7.
You would say 7 minutes? That's the best you think you could do?
Maybe.
How about 1 minute and 6 seconds?
How? I would say how?
I have no idea. But I think we should just replace all of our footage with that, guys. Jesus Christ.
Right? Because it's not even a minute and you haven't even gotten the bladders.
Yeah. It's absurdly fast. I think it's just being in the right position at the right time. And time attack does fudge about with the position somewhat.
Does it?
So... yeah, you start in different places. Sometimes you start off of aggro. So I think that's a big part of it, is just being in the right place at the right time and resetting until that happens. Mm-hmm. Like against Gaius, sometimes he'll swing his sword, sometimes he'll just keep walking to fuck with you.
That's one of our biggest problems, is that the Colossus is not cooperating. like
that
Pelagia.
happens. Yes, like Pelagia. The Colossi definitely seem to have a mind of their own.
Yeah. I have to admit that when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That you were standing up on aggro.
I did it. You have to do it to get on Besarin. I did it there as well, and I think you commented on it.
I don't think I remember seeing, because I don't remember seeing you stand up for Besarin. I remember seeing you launch yourself onto Besarin, which I thought was cool.
To launch yourself, you have to stand up quickly.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought you just kind of launched yourself.
I wish. Make it a hell of a lot easier if I didn't have to hold down 4 fucking buttons.
I know that in certain games, like I remember, I think I was watching Games Done Quick or something like that, and or maybe I was just watching a speed run. Like there's like a claw maneuver that's like pretty uncomfortable sometimes that you have to do when you have to hold a lot of sequence of buttons.
Oh yeah, that's almost like the grab and the stand and launch, because that's R1 analog stick up, X to make aggro keep going faster, and then triangle to jump off all at the same time, and then you have to shift the analog stick in the right direction. It's a whole fucking thing.
So how come you didn't try to stay under the flap?
Because I didn't know how much time I had left, and I wanted to try to get to the third one.
Okay.
I wanted to see if I could get all 3.
Right. Which, that would have been an awesome time for you if you could have.
It would have been a nice time.
Then again, your time still isn't bad.
What, another... Yeah, a minute and a half to get his gas bladders again, and 30 seconds of that or so is waiting for the motherfucker to come out of the sand anyway.
Right.
So I was in a better position to get his gas bladders the second time around.
Right. And that was a... Did you mean to do that, or was that kind of an accident that happened?
I definitely meant to... No, it's a complete accident. The physics are all wonky.
Yeah, I would say that the physics for him were the wonkiest. Actually, maybe Malice was.
The physics in this game... It feels a little rough around the edges.
I think, like, from what I've seen, it was worse in like, the PS2 version.
This is a fantastic game. Most of the bosses are great, and the ones that aren't great is just because I don't think they're well communicated.
Mm-hmm.
But something about how they've had to make the scale, I think, has just negatively affected the physics.
Yeah.
I've always maintained that. I wish it was a little bit better.
Yeah. So your final time for him was 5 minutes and 22 seconds. So about 7 minutes faster than me.
About that.
For the rest of these, you pretty much just blow me out of the water for time.
Yeah, I mean, not if we were looking at just time played, I really don't think so.
Right, but you restarted, and I did it in one go.
Yeah, you did it. You did it all in one go, and you had to figure everything out.
Oh God!
Mind you, I restarted for a couple of very good reasons.
Right, because you wanted to show off.
Yes. And also, speedruns are actually impossible. There's no way that the same strategies work. I'm convinced it does not work. I'm still mad about Malice. It doesn't make sense.
You'll have to explain it when we get to that episode.
Yes, I will explain at length. So, Phalanx, longest death scene out of any Colossi.
Is it really?
26 seconds. Yep.
Huh.
Takes a long fucking time to die. The other ones are... bit longer, like Avion and Hydrus, because they sink so far in the water.
Right.
But just pure death sequence, Phalanx is the longest.
Interesting. So, in the next episode is Cenobia?
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I guess you could call it the twin of Celosia, which kind of makes sense. Their names are very similar. And someone had pointed out, and actually this makes sense when looking at Cenobia, Celosia is definitely more of a boar, and Cenobia is definitely a lion, I would say.
So, just to sort of say that, they were both given the description of a guardian set loose.
Are they?
Yeah, so they're definitely supposed to be somewhat related in both their appearance and their size and how they move.
Right.
Which is very, 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 very interesting.
I would say I definitely like Zenobia more than Celosia.
Agreed.
Okay. So, as you can see here, our final scores. My time was 13 minutes and 24 seconds, and Ninja's was 5 minutes and 22 seconds. As we can see, as the Colossi get more and more intricate, the gap between our times is very apparent. That's mostly because I don't know the fights, but that's because I've never played this game, which we've iterated again and again.
I'd still like to see what happens if you go through time attack and just see what your times are, or your best posted times are. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yep.
Phalanx, real good Colossus. I've got really nothing negative to say about his design.
No, I enjoyed him a lot more than Pelagia.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay, so that's going to do it for this episode of Shadow of the Colossus. We do hope that you enjoyed, and in the next episode, we'll be taking on the last small Colossus, and that would be Zenobia. So, as always, my name is Ark.
I'm RandomNinja.
And we will see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!